The school zone behind me is probably illegal, and many individuals who have gotten a speeding ticket in the school zone may be entitled to financial compensation.
Southside Place is a small neighborhood located in the center of Harris County, the middle of Houston. But what makes Southside different from every other neighborhood is in 1931 it actually incorporated, meaning it's its own city. It's a city within the city of Houston. And it's really small. It's only about 0.2 square miles. There is no doubt that Southside is a wealthy neighborhood. According to the 2000 census, Southside was the 13th wealthiest neighborhood in the state of Texas. And as such, Southside comes with the amenities you would expect from a top-tier neighborhood. Southside has public tennis courts, public parks, an event center, a city hall, municipal courts, and a full-time 24/7 fire and police department. And in order to fund these amenities, Southside Place does have an additional property tax that all of the businesses and residents that live in the city have to pay. It's roughly around 32 cents per $100 in value. And considering Southside Place is located in the heart of Houston, prime real estate, where property values are through the roof, you can assume that those property taxes generate a significant portion of Southside Place's revenue. But they are by no means the only source of income for the city. Running east to west, Bel Air Boulevard connects the medical center, the largest medical center in the world, with some of the most populated neighborhoods in the entire city. Bel Air Boulevard stretches for tens of miles, and throughout its entire route, it is populated with restaurants, shops, grocery stores, schools. It is just a busy street. It's a main street. Why is this important? Well, Southside Place has jurisdiction over a tiny sliver of Bel Air Boulevard. And any local knows that Southside Place is notorious for writing tickets. It's a speed trap. If you are a local Houstonian, you know not to go 1 mile over the speed limit in Southside Place because they will write you a ticket in a second. Come on. But I don't care what city, state, or neighborhood you're from, you know of speed traps. There are local speed traps everywhere. It's just a matter of fact that police are going to decide to enforce speeding in particular areas for various reasons. That's not what this video is about. That's nothing new. This video is about Southside school zone speeding tickets. You see, at the corner of Southside's jurisdiction of Bel Air, there's a small elementary school called St. Mark's. St. Mark's begins class at 8 a.m. and gets out of class most days around 3 p.m. And by this point in the video, you're like, what the hell, Tom? That seems like normal school hours. And you're right. This is not about the school hours. This is about the school zone hours. Well, you see, under Chapter 2, Section 4 of the Procedures of Establishing a School Zone issued by the Texas Department of Transportation, school zones can only ever exist approximately 45 minutes before class starts and 30 minutes after classes end. But if you remember at the beginning of this video, Southside School Zone runs from 7:30 a.m. until 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. until 4:15 p.m. Meaning that the proper time for the school zone to exist is between 7:15 a.m. and 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. So between the hours of 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. to 4:15 p.m., that school zone is operating outside of the regulations approved by the state of Texas. And while Southside is its own city, it does not mean they have the autonomy to create their own laws. In fact, cities have to abide by the laws set out by the state legislature. A great example of this is none other than Elon Musk. Elon Musk is trying to build Star-based Texas. And in doing so, county officials had the following quote that was in the news a couple of days ago. They said if SpaceX and Elon Musk would like to pursue down this path, they must abide by all state and corporation statutes, which include following all rules and regulations of the state. And while I'm certainly not advocating for speeding in a school zone, it makes you wonder why Southside Place would have such a long school zone time. Perhaps it's because they just want to be very, very, very careful in protecting their kids. They want to be overly cautious to make sure nobody gets hurt. Or Southside knows that their school zone speeding tickets are a money-making machine, and they can capitalize off of people driving down Bel Air Boulevard not thinking it's the time of day for school zones because every other school zone in the city is not operating, and therefore they can make a whole lot of money off of it. I don't know. That's just my thought. And while Southside would never admit to this in person, they have been aware that their school zone does break the Texas Department of Transportation's code since at least 2017, yet they have failed to make any changes to their policy. So this begs the question, what would a lawyer do who decided to start his own law firm so he could fight for the little guy and sue mega corporations and the government when they screw people over? Would he represent individuals in Southside Municipal Traffic Court? No. Because all I would do is show up with Chapter 2, Section 4 of the Procedures of Establishing a School Zone, show it to the judge, probably get the ticket dismissed, charge like $100 to get it done. That's boring. No. I would file a Freedom of Information Act report with the city of Southside. I would get a list of every single individual who had received a citation from the Southside Police. I would then filter that data and find individuals who got school zone infractions in the illegal times. I would then find one plaintiff who would be willing to have me represent them, and I would file a class action against the city to recover all the revenues generated from those illegal tickets over the past few years. Oh, but it's not like I've done legal research on the matter and have been thinking about pursuing this legal cause of action for the past year. While editing this video, I forgot to talk about Southside's defense. And I shaved, so there's no point in putting on the same clothes and trying to trick you. So here we go. Southside would have a few defenses. The very first would be government immunity. Essentially what they would argue is whether they were right or wrong, it doesn't matter. You can't sue them. You can't sue the government. And I'm fairly confident we would be able to overcome that. First of all, they're breaking a Texas state legislature regulation. They probably know that they're breaking regulation, or at least they've had notice that they're breaking regulation. Additionally, this is not a tort. The damages are tangible. You know exactly how much money somebody lost from the traffic ticket. This isn't something like where a city official accidentally runs over and kills someone and you don't know how much the family should receive for the wrongful death. These are tangible damages. Although there is potentially an intangible part for individuals who got convicted of a speeding ticket and got points on their record and maybe it affected their ability to drive, or perhaps had to sit through a long driver's ed course or defensive driving course. That is a little wishy-washy, but I'm just strictly focused on the tangible dollars for the people who just ponied up and paid the ticket. If somebody was to overcome the government immunity argument, the next step would be the regulation itself. Southside would argue that these are merely just regulations and they have the authority, the ability to expand those regulations as they see fit. Even the code says the following: the intervals of operations of flashing beacons at the school zone limit assembly may be extended or revised for school events as mutually agreed upon by the school district and the entity responsible for the operation of the flashing beacons. In this case, the flashing beacon should only be operated when there is an increase in vehicular activity and pedestrian traffic in and around the roadway associated with the school event. Southside would likely try to argue that the school event is the school existing, the opening and closing of the school, and they can extend it to a reasonable degree. And come on, I don't think a jury would buy that for a second. The key word to me in that regulation is pedestrian activity. Where will the children be? Because at 8 a.m. they begin class. So from 8 to 9 a.m. there's no additional pedestrian activity. Additionally, from 2 to 3 there's no pedestrian activity. And from 3:30 to 4:15 there's no pedestrian activity because the kids are either in class or they've already gone home. Bel Air doesn't see an increase in traffic because it's always just kind of busy. So come on, Southside. And so finally, if you were able to overcome government immunity and then establish that they were in fact breaking the regulation, the final argument that they would hang their hat on is damages. There'd probably be an argument on how far back you could go to find individuals who had received these traffic tickets. I go back and forth in my head whether this is some sort of tort or like a weird contract dispute. In Texas, the statute of limitations for a tort is 2 years. The statute of limitations for a contract is 4 years. So I don't know how far back you could go in getting the catalog of individuals who have received these bogus traffic tickets and try to get them compensation. Meaning if somebody got a ticket 10 years ago, they might be SOL. It is pretty fun to think about, and I think this lawsuit could potentially work, although it is very, very petty, which is probably why I haven't gotten around to doing it yet, because I like suing people who are actually evil. Okay, back to old Tom. But it's a good lesson. Even something as official as a school zone can be incorrect, and you should never take things at face value. I thought this would just be an interesting video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Please make sure to leave any comments, questions, concerns down below. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel if you want to be a part of this community. I'll talk to you later.